Derek, what the is good, YouTube? Alright, on today's episode of Mean as Hell, I'm gonna do another screenshot breakdown. This one is a little bit more annoying, heartbreaking than the usual ones, because I'm not even going to start talking. I'm just go ahead and get into reading it. And if you like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I post, all that fun shit. Alright, so the screenshot reads, Denzel Washington reveals the key to his happy 35-year marriage is, I do what I'm told and I keep my mouth shut. Now, the way this thing looks, the screenshot looks, I don't know if it's a real quote or if somebody edited the words, whatever, right? What I don't like about it is it sends the wrong message out to young men and teenage boys and that's trying to come into their own as a man, like as still trying to find their way as a man, because it's not just one step thing, it's a whole journey to become a man, right? So with that, reading shit like this from high status men and fucking a sex symbol. Fucking Denzel Washington is a goddamn sex symbol. Him, Will Smith, and it's crazy that even went together, because like Will Smith and Denzel Washington was so-called sex symbols, but these is the niggas that women got them all bitched up and bitchified and shit like that. But listen, if that works in his marriage, it's to each their own, right? But for the majority of niggas out there, this is not the mindset you want to have. That happy wife, happy life shit is bullshit. Throw it out. If you got it in your head, throw it out. Happy wife, happy life, get it out your head. Right? You are the man, right? The leader of this relationship. So you lead from the front. How the can you lead from the front if you're listening to somebody who's technically underneath you or behind you or following you? You get what I'm saying? So I do what I'm told, I keep my mouth shut. That signifies what? That she's the leader, that she's in charge. How does that dynamic work? And like I said, to each their own. This might work in their relationship. Their relationship is not the majority. It is not majority. These bitches out here don't want no. They don't want no out here. They want somebody they know that can provide for them and protect them and give them guidance. And while they're looking for that, they are going to test you constantly testing your manhood. And every time you fail those tests that she's giving you, now these are unconscious tests. Like this is just in her nature. She's gonna have to test your manhood, because it's always a battle for her. She's always gonna test your manhood. But you cannot fail these tests, because every time you fail these tests, the attraction is slowly waning. I always tell my young kids, do not enable your goofiness. Don't enable your goofiness ever. If she asks you a question and you know there's an underlying agenda behind it, so like say some simple shit, like say you spraying on cologne or you put on a nice fit because you about to go out with your boys or some shit, she was like, who you getting all cute for? Or who you smelling all good for? You know how you answer that question? Because a lot of you niggas get that shit and just be like, I'm smelling good for me. No, you know why I'm smelling good for these other out here? That's what you, and you know why you do that? Because I hope she goes in the room and sucks her teeth. I hope it hurts her feelings. You know why? Because it'll discourage her to be goofy like that next time. It'll discourage her to be goofy like that next time. And it's also good too that she's even asking those type of questions, because it says that she still finds you attractive. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't think you fine, she ain't got shit to worry about. It's always good when you is just a little bit insecure. Not in an unhealthy way, but just a little bit. It just always keeps the relationship, the dynamic moves so much better when she's just a little bit insecure. And not in no unhealthy way, and not in no way that you're doing on purpose. Right? But back to the screenshot, right? I think that's what's wrong with how the world is set up today. It's like men and masculinity is a crime. Like, don't nobody want, like, it's like everybody is a war on men. We don't want masculinity. It's all toxic. It's all misogyny and all this dumb shit. So they're trying to bring men down to be docile, like little f***ing caged puppies and shit. But at the same time, they're upbringing these so-called strong, independent, boss, hard-hitting, driven women that can speak their mind without consequence and shit like that, to give them, to take away all their femininity. So now they're the masculine one, and now men have to sit over here like the women. It's like a paradigm shift. So it's really like a war on masculinity. That's why it's like shit like this is detrimental to young men to hear or see, especially from high status, famous, sex symbol type of guy, like the perceived alpha. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's just like it's more hurrah for the, because it's like whoever this wife is, I don't know her name, you know, but whoever his wife is, just look at that like, see, that's how it is, you know what I'm saying? You get in and then you control them and you tame them. That's the shit, like, and that's what happens. You cannot ever compromise your manhood, your masculinity, your nuts. Stop doing that shit, bro. You see how it turns out for that do that. Look at Will Smith. I love Will Smith. Will Smith has been one of my idols when I was growing up. I had the high top fade and all that shit. Space Jam, Jordans, I had all that shit. I had all this. I looked up to Will. But to see how the dynamic works when you compromise your manhood to a woman, when you put a woman before you, when you put a woman above you, everything is about her, is a detractor for her. One, it destroys the attraction, it destroys the arousal, and it destroys you as a man because your value system and your priorities are backwards. Yo cannot be number one in your life. I don't know where the that theory came from, some Disney shit, some Google Fairyland shit. That is not how shit works. Yo cannot be number one in your life. Because if your is number one, everything else after that, everything is like an umbrella. You need to be at the top. You are the umbrella that shields everything underneath of it. How can you shield everything underneath of it when the is outside the umbrella? I don't know how good of an analogy that was. It sounded good in my head when I came up with it just now, but I can come up with a better one later. Like, yeah, your can't be number one in your life, bro. You gotta have, yourself is number one. Always. Yourself as number one. Always. And you know why I say that? Let me sit up for this shit, because I don't want you to really think I'm bullshitting. You put yourself number one always. Do you know why? Because a is always gonna put herself number one. Period. Period. A bitch is always gonna put herself number one, man. You will never be number one in most eyes, in any life. You feel me? You will never be number one, because if shit hits the fan, she's gonna be trying to protect herself. If shit hits the fan, she's not looking out in your best interest, especially if she got kids. I'm not saying this shit, I'm not getting into all that shit about you with kids. I'm just saying for the that's dealing with kids, you're definitely not gonna be number one in her life. And without kids, you're not gonna be number one in her life either. Because it's a selfishness and it's a self-preservation thing, an entitlement that's like ingrained into their hard drive. And my thing is, a lot of times do it just subconsciously. Like they're always looking for the next best, like the next best. That's why it's always in your best interest to be the best. Can't look for the next best if you the best. You feel what I'm saying? When you're the upgrade, you don't give a about who is after you. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I'm back, my camera died. Alright, so number one, put yourself first. Always. Always put yourself first. And not even in a malicious way or a selfish way, is when you put yourself first, it puts you in a better position to take care of others. Right? So when you look at it from that point of view, it's a positive thing when you put yourself first. Putting yourself first is better for everybody, especially when you're a leader. You know what I'm saying? So yourself first. Number two is your purpose, your reason, wherever you accumulate your money, whatever your journey is in life, that's number two. But yeah, man, just keep that in mind. Like, I know there's a lot of shit out there especially for, you know, young boys, men go ending middle school, so 8th grade till when you graduate high school. Even into college, it's a lot of information out there, and it's a lot of different perspectives and views on shit to, you know, sway your judgment and your character, especially those out there without father figures and just masculine men out there to give you the proper guidance and teachings and shit like that, you know. So I just want to make sure when I say things, I want to make sure I give y'all a well-rounded viewpoint of it, because I grew up under men's men. Like, there was no shortage in my childhood of men, of masculine men, from my grandfathers, both of them, my dad, my uncles, my cousins, all of them. Just everybody, even on the football teams, it's just men around. You know what I'm saying? There's no shortage in that. So I know my views and values and things like that, and the way I shape myself is based around being a man. So when I hear stuff like this or see stuff like that, I do what I told, I keep my mouth shut. That gives you the viewpoint and perspective of being the follower, not being the leader, not being a man, being a bitch. Basically, it gives you the viewpoint of you being a bitch. Now, if that's the route you want to take, that's fine, but I'm giving you the information. That type of fantasy world is a lie. That's what they fed you. Happy wife, happy life, that is a lie. That is a lie. So, and also with that being said, being married doesn't make you beta. Being married doesn't make you a simp. Being single doesn't make you alpha. Being single doesn't make you a pimp either. It's all about you getting the outcomes that you want on your terms. You feel me? As long as you're doing As long as you're controlling what you can control, and not saying control your bitch, you know what I'm saying? But controlling how you maneuver and what you're gonna tolerate from her and shit like that. That's what alpha is. That's what it's all about. Like, forget the terms, but it's always about whatever you want as an outcome. Control what you can control and make sure that you're getting that outcome. If you're not getting the outcomes you want and you're still standing around, that's not, you see, it's not alpha. That's not controlling what you can control. That's not handling, that's madness. That's what that is. If you're not getting the outcomes you want and you're still staying around, that's madness. There's no point to that. So when you're with a girl, you control what you can control. Don't try to control her. If she's not getting onto your program, if she doesn't want to follow your leadership and guidance, you cut her off and you get rid of her. You get the rid of her. There's too many on this planet. There's so many more on this planet that will get on your program. But you gotta have a program to get them on. You gotta have a world to bring them into, right? So yeah, don't get caught up in this dumb shit, these lies and this foolishness that gets pushed out on social media. You know, find some good. I know there's a lot of information out there, but find some good quality, thorough men that's giving out good content for you to develop. You know what I'm saying? Or find a mentor in your real life. If you have your father, you know, try to get some gems from him. Hopefully he ain't one that's whipped and up by your mom or whoever he's married to. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that women tell you growing up is a lie. Everything women tell you growing up as a boy, as a teenager, until you're adult is a lie. Even to this day, it's a lie. But that's another video I'm gonna get into, y'all. Stop listening to talk. That's another video I got for y'all. But yeah, basically that's all I have for y'all. Just stop feeding into this whole new wave of believing that masculinity is toxic and that feminism is the movement and all this shit. And women is everything right and men are everything wrong. That shit, man. It. It. Do what you need to do as a man to become better every day, and you get better outcomes from every aspect of life. Money, everything, right? That's all I got for y'all. This is Wolfgang Lifestyle, and we out.